Hey there, and welcome to Criminal Justice in a Nutshell. My name is Dr. John Fisher, and today's episode of Criminal Justice in a Nutshell is on quantitative research. Okay, this episode is also tied to week 4 of Ashford University's CRIJ 520 Research in Criminal Justice course, and this week is about quantitative research. Quantitative research is mathematical research. It's tied to math. It's experimental research that provides a numerical description of the research question and what we're looking for. For those of you that are in this class, I have put several posts up in the discussion forums on some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about today. One of my favorite shows is Bones. I don't know if you've seen Bones, but I was watching the pilot. I started the series over. I found season 1 on DVD at a pawn shop the other day, and I've been watching it. And Bones, Dr. Brennan, in this show, she complains about psychology and social science. She says it's a soft science and it's weak and it doesn't really give you any answers. It doesn't increase knowledge. She's very hypocritical. Maybe not hypocritical, but she's very anti-social research. And that's what we do in the criminal justice field. We conduct social research. We are sociologists. And the quantitative research, because it's based on math and it uses mathematical equation and mathematical descriptions, it's accepted by those hard sciences of paleontology and archaeology and biology and all of the ologies, except for sociology and criminology and psychology. It's accepted as real hard science. I tend to disagree. There are some serious weaknesses with quantitative research. The first one's math. How many of you are good at math? How many of you like math? If an individual is reading your research and you're doing quantitative research and he doesn't understand the charts and he doesn't understand the scales and the mathematical formulas that you have put forth in your research is going to mean nothing to him. He's going to go, or her, they're going to go read the evaluation, the conclusions. They're going to find out what your words have to say, and then they're going to base it on that. Another weakness of quantitative research is that we're using math and we're using statistics. There's a statistic that shows that 96% of all crime is committed in the inner city. This is an unrefutable fact. It's science. It's math. And math tells us that based upon the NCIC, 96% of all crime is committed in the inner city. So while I was doing my research for my dissertation, some of my research projects on hate and extremism and all of the things that go along with that, I went to Stormfront, which is a neo-Nazi, white supremacist news media outlet. And one of the articles was, we know that African Americans commit most crime in this country because, and then they shared this fact, 96% of all crime is committed in the inner city. And if 96% of all crime is committed in the inner city, and the vast majority of the people living in the inner city are African Americans, we can conclude that crime is committed by African Americans in this country. Hard science. I disagree. I don't think that's real. I don't think it's accurate. Some of you are probably fuming right now, and you're mad because I was offensive, and I offended you by repeating something that came from Stormfront. But there's an old proverb that says, "Figures lie and liars figure." We can make math say whatever we want, but it is the accepted means of research. The accepted means of research. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm filming today from the San Angelo State Park in San Angelo, Texas. It's on the shores of O.C. Fisher Lake. reservoir. I've been fishing almost every day. I've been doing research and reading and just enjoying my summer vacation. Although it's not vacation because I'm working. I'm making a video here with you. Okay, so one of the important things about research is your sampling. Okay, there are 5 different types of samples populations. There's random, there's systemic, there's convenience, there's cluster, and there's stratified. I'm not getting into all of them because, as we've already learned, I can't go over 15 minutes with these videos. So you guys go look them up. Or if you want to, you can go find some of my posts. Sampling is one of the posts that I put on. You have 2 types to conduct research. You can do the population, or you can do a sample of the population. And do you think that we can get 350 million people to answer a survey? I don't think so either. So what we do is we use a sample. We use a random sample. In my dissertation, I used a snowball convenience sample. Okay. First I randomized all 264 sheriffs in the state of Texas. I put them in the randomizer, and I picked 15 sheriffs. And the first 15 sheriffs, I sent emails and invited them to my project. I'm sorry, I had a brain freeze. Okay, so I invited these people to my project, and we went on from there. And we kept going, and every time, if I didn't hear anything within 2 weeks, I would send out another random sampling, excluding those 15 sheriffs that I'd already invited, until eventually I invited everybody. Once I invited everybody, I'd only gotten 1 or 2 people to turn around and say, yes, come visit me. We'll talk about the militia. We'll talk about the perceptions of the militia and all of those issues. And then what I did was what's called a snowball convenience. Okay. Once I finished talking to a sheriff, I would tell the sheriff, I go, hey, sheriff, I'm having some problems and some difficulties getting other sheriffs to participate in this project. Can you help me? Can you call a sheriff that you're close with and see if they can fit an hour's worth of time in here for me so that I can go and do this? And they would, until eventually I got all the sheriffs from all over Texas to participate in my project, and I was able to answer my questions, which was what was the Texas Sheriff's perception of the right-wing militia movement. And there's a video. If you scroll down through my videos, you'll find a video on my results. Okay, so when you're trying to set up your sampling, you need to answer 3 questions, or there's 3 things that come into mind: the content, the extent, and the time. Okay, who do you want to talk to? If you're researching a question on racial profiling, would you want to go talk to a bunch of white people? Because every white person in the world is going to say there's no racial profiling. There's no such thing as racial profiling. Okay. You're not going to find a statistical database to support racial profiling. It doesn't exist. Racial profiling is going to have to be a qualitative research project. So who do you want to go talk to? Well, you want to go talk to people of color, okay? The people that are going to be the victims of racial profiling. To what extent do the subjects have experience in this area? Okay, not every African American has lived the same life. There are some African Americans who lived a life of privilege. They've grown up in a life of privilege. And they haven't faced a lot of the same things, a lot of the same prejudices and biases that the African American population in the inner city has to live by, or has lived by, or lived through. So you want to take into account what kind of experiences and what kind of what extent of their knowledge. How are they going to be able to help you increase the knowledge if they have never had any experience with it? And third was how much time is going to be needed. Because everybody has a busy life. Not everybody lives a life of descriptive statistics. Essentially, it's describing and analyzes the data that you have collected. Okay, so you want to make sure that your data you're able to explain it, you're able to make conclusions, you're able to identify issues. It allows you to organize the data in an effective way so that you can compare variables. The t-test. I've put a paper, an article describing the t-test and how the t-test works in the discussion forums. But the t-test is an independent sample test. It identifies and it finds out if there's any significance in your independent population. It's evaluated differences between two independent groups and tests if the means differ significantly. If the means differ significantly, you have a purpose, you have a need for additional information. The ANOVA testing, or NAOVA testing, is a one-way analysis of variance determining a group based upon an independent variable. How does, you'll hear about these studies and these researches, well, we've controlled for this, this, and this. Okay, well, how did this, and this affect a study? If there is a significant relationship between the dependent and independent variables, then you want to go on to an additional test and do additional testing, and that is called post hoc testing. Again, I've put something in the discussion forums to discuss post hoc testing a little further. The chi-square is analysis of two independent variables using crosstabs to determine if there is a significant statistical relationship. If there is a statistical relationship, you have confirmed your hypothesis. If there is no statistical relationship, you have come up with and you find a null hypothesis. Okay, so in a nutshell, that is quantitative research. Another problem I have with quantitative research is the samples and the surveys, because you can do a survey and I can ask you a question. Some of them are easy. What is your race or ethnicity? Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, other. Okay, those are going to be easy. Okay, what about this question? Do you believe that abortion should be legal? Yes, no, sometimes. Personally, I don't believe in abortion. I don't believe in abortion for the mere purpose of birth control. Now, for rape and incest, health of the mother, health of the baby, those are exceptions to the rule. But just going out and getting an abortion outright just because you got pregnant and because you're afraid that it's going to ruin your quality of life, you should have thought about that before you went and had sex. Okay, so there's a lot of questions where you can't get a firm answer, or the answers that are provided don't actually represent your views. What is the most important thing or the most dangerous thing in criminal justice? Racial profiling, and I can give the list and the things that I think are important, but you might not think it's important. You might think it's something else. So you're either not going to answer the question, or you're going to select one of the provided answers, and all that's going to do is allow me to push my narrative onto everybody else. So this has been Dr. Fisher and criminal justice in a nutshell and quantitative research. I hope you have a good day.